All right, it's a rainy mess out here today, but I got something in my truck I want to show you right here. Open this up, see how dirty my back seat is. If you guys have kids, you know what I'm talking about. Lift this up. This is my get home bag right here, and of course, it's a GoRuck GR1. Inside, there's a Vanquest organizer. I'm gonna take this inside and I'm gonna show you the one that I'll use, and we're gonna sort through all the different kinds of Vanquest organizers that you can use for your get home bag, your everyday carry, whatever you wanna do. All right, guys, bear with me. We're at a slight angle because that's the only way the GR1 is going to fit into the frame. So we're going to open this up. Like I said, this is my get home bag. If you don't have a get home bag, right, like me, I live in Maryland and I work in DC. Sometimes I think about what would I do if there was some type of disaster in the District of Columbia and I had to get home. And that's like, I'm about 30 miles from my house. So yeah, I put together this get home bag, and I'll go through, at one point we'll do a whole video on what I have in my get home bag, but you can kind of see some of the items right here. We're talking about today this little guy right here. This is one of the Vanquest organizers. We're going to walk around because there's two types of organizers that Vanquest offers. This one is the PPM, the Personal Pocket Maximizer. And they also have a EDCM. And then we're going to show you the different types. We're going to walk all the way around this little organizer and all its little brothers and sisters. All right, we got two stacks, 6 different sizes. Shout out to Vanquest for sending all of these over so we could check them out together. We'll talk about the materials, the build quality first. We already know Vanquest makes some of the best stuff out there. Like I've never, absolutely never had a problem with anything Vanquest builds. But we'll talk about the difference between the PPMs, or the Personal Pocket Organizer, and the EDCMs, or the Everyday Carry Maximizer Organizers. First off, the size differences, right? The EDCMs just seem like in their size variants, they're a little bit bigger than the PPMs, or the personal, right? Which would make sense. You could kind of see the size differences there. But the differences go on, and the similarities go on as well. They're both made out of 500D core door. One of the differences is this front little, loop field in the front. This is kind of rounded, rectangle, but rounded. On the EDCMs, it's a little odder of a shape on the EDCMs. And on the front, the logos are different. On the PPMs, it says Vanquest, big and bold, in your face, tough built gear. And then on the EDCMs, it's got the rhinoceros on the front. It still says tough built gear, Vanquest, but yeah. And then there's a pocket where you can put some stuff in. This pocket does have a little Velcro or hook and loop. I always get hook and loop and Velcro. This is Velcro to me, right? We can get technical about things, right? Let's talk about the EDCM. It's still got the Velcro in the front as well. And then on the back, both of them can hook into a MOLLE system, right? Both of them have grab handles, a folded over piece of nylon webbing that work great and never fail. The stitching on Vanquest stuff is awesome. Now, the MOLLE system connections are a little bit different. You can see on the EDCMs, this wants something a little bit bigger. It's going to require some more rows of MOLLE, while the PPM, you probably could get away with just 2 rows. 2 rows of MOLLE will attach that just fine. All right. Inside, we're going to dive in the inside of these things, but it's a 210D ripstop lining. Now, another thing that's a difference between these two is on the PPMs, YKK zips. They're, looped in, nice little paracord there. You could probably use it for something else if you had to. YKK zips that won't fail. And then on the EDCMs, YKK zips, but they're lockable zippers. I think it has to do with the size of these, just because they're a little bit bigger. You might be putting magazines and maybe a CCW, more valuable things. So a lock, I'll never turn it down. Option to lock. Now let's get into the size differences. So I came with some visual aids, baby. I left the tags on them because that helps me tell which one is which. And if I didn't, we would be here for a really long time. So let's start with smallest to largest on the PPM side, all right? So over here is the PPM Slim. I know that because I wrote it down and it says PPM Slim. The dimensions 6.5 by 4.25 by 7.5, right? 7.5 is the width right here, right? 6 inches tall, 4 inches in width, and this is pretty slim, pretty slim. And if you didn't pick up on it, there's actually 3 separate colorways that these usually come in, right? You got your coyote, you got your wolf gray, and you got your black. Always bet on black, right? So inside, without any further ado, let's get inside these things. You have that 210 ripstop lining that I was talking about in the high vis orange, which is awesome. So over here on this side, you got a little slip pocket. You have some bungee cords, 4 little slots where you can stick in your knives or your carabiners or things like that. You do have a loop up here, and you can hook in like an extra key leash up here at the top. And on the other side, slip pocket with the keychain lanyard, and it's like a, oscillating, it just moves around for you there a little bit. And you also have 3 little slots over here with the bungees. Now, one thing that you'll notice with Vanquest's products is sometimes the bungees, the top and the bottom won't line up because sometimes they shift that organization so you can stack items on top of one another. And you'll see that more when we switch over to the EDCM side. So, but this one right here, perfect for, putting it in a coat, put it in a backpack like I did. This is the same one that's in my get home bag, not a bug out bag, it's a get home bag, right? So yeah, the zippers, they're pretty smooth. I think this, breaking it in, this one's brand new and I'm getting it stuck. All right, don't show out now. Don't show out. But that's the Slim. Now, the Husky over here, the difference is you get a 1/4 inch more in width. That's what that's all about. So when you pack this out, it's going to be a 1/4 inch bigger. It's about a 1/4 inch in width as well. And it's the same height. So same height, a little bit wider and a little bit fatter, right? So inside, you'll see it's the exact same setup in the inside. And then I don't think we need to open the black one. We don't need to open the black one, but we can just hold them up for size comparisons. So this one is perfect for like knife, flashlight, kind of, that's probably where I would be, maybe able to put like a charging bank in here, but this one's going to be more suited, a little bit larger, put in your backpack. I like this size, like right in the middle. Give me right in the middle. This one, the huge, right? Husky, huge, slim. The huge is 6.75 tall, so even a little bit taller than the Husky, right? And then it's 5.25 in width, so a little bit bigger than the Husky. You can see that, right? About an inch. And then you have 1.25 in depth, so fatness, right? So you're going to be able to put a lot more items inside of the Husky, or excuse me, the huge. And the organization, I'm glad I did open it up because the organization changes a little bit. So let's open the Husky up a little bit so we can look at the difference right here. Now you're starting to see the stackability option here. So a lot more stackability options with your bands in the inside. So you actually have 2 rows and they're offset and you can stack on top. So let's do this. I see like, okay, on the Husky, you have 1 row up here, and then on the huge, you have 2 rows stacked up on top. And then on this side, it's 2 rows and then 1 stacked on top. So a lot more organization in here, plus a lot more space. The Slim is very much limited, more in line with the Husky, right? But it doesn't have that band on the top. So this is like two bands. So you got two layers of organization here, while this one is just one layer of organization. I'm glad I did open them up because they're very different. And I didn't even really expect that because I'm kind of unboxing them, looking at them with you as well. So in the Slim, this one is just fixed, the keychain, while this one has like a detachable. It still has the loop on the top, but this one has like a detachable keychain lanyard. And also on the Huge, it's a detachable. So I think, of course, the Huge is going to be over here. This is going to be more capable, but it's going to be more huger, if that's a word. It's not. It's a little bigger, man. And, for me, that's backpack size. The Huge is backpack size. The Husky is like bordering probably more backpack size. The Slim, the PPM Slim, I can still stick this in a coat pocket. So you got to kind of know, like, okay, I'm going to attach this to the outside of my bag, or I'm going to put it inside for these two options over here. But any questions, leave them down in the comments. But yeah, I'm surprised myself. Like, maybe I should have looked a little closer at these things before I like did this video, because I'm like, what? Okay. Yeah, the organization inside is definitely a lot different from variant to variant, man. Slim over here, and then Husky. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. So this is where they introduced this double stack. And this one in the back is a larger band. Larger band back here in the Husky. So you could put some larger items back there. And then over here in the Huge, actually the bands, the larger bands are in the Husky. And then in the Huge, they have smaller slots. That's interesting. So they went with, like, if you have like a really big item, the Husky is the better option. While if you have a lot of smaller items, the Huge is the better option, even though it's more huger. That's crazy. I wouldn't even thought that. I'm glad I, opened them up and compared them that way. So again, I'm thinking that the Husky is like the best of both worlds. You get the size, it's questionable if you can stick it in the pocket, but I like the larger bands because I'm like, this is a perfect space right here for like a battery bank, it's going to be larger, or like a hard drive or something like that. So you could do the knives over here, flashlight, pens and stuff, and then do some electronic organizers or something like that. Or what I plan on using these for, like when I get to these EDCMs, is straight knife storage, because I have a lot of knives. So I'm thinking straight knife storage. So let's clear the PPMs out of the way and get to the EDCMs and tell the difference between those two. All right, I got all of the EDCMs set up here, from smallest to largest, or smallest to huger right here. This is the Slim version, this is the Husky version, and this is the Huge version. Before we get to the dimensions, I want to pull in, this is the the PPM, this is the Huge version, and I want to just compare it to the smallest version of the EDCM, and you can see that definitely the EDCMs in every size are bigger than the PPMs. And these acronyms are killing your boy. I'm trying to tell you. So, all right, let's get to the sizes, okay? So it's 8 inches tall for the Slim. We're on the Slim. 8 inches tall, 6 inches wide, and actually 1.25 inches of depth. Let's open it up. We see that we have the pockets right here in the back. We have the bands, like the double stack bands right here. We have our key lanyard leash, and then we have another band here at the bottom. So that is our Slim version. So that's going to be, we're all right here, we're in backpack territory. I would not put this in my pocket. So you're going to either hook this to a backpack, or you're going to hook it to your plate carrier or something like that, or put it inside a bag. This is, I think, is too big for a pocket. Some people might throw it in a cargo pant. I think it's a little big for that as well. Now, the Husky in the middle, and we'll see if the Husky is in the EDCMs is the one to pick, because it was in the PPMs. But 8 inches tall, 6 inches wide. Now we got 2 inches of depth. And we're talking about we have some serious stuff. Nice organization in here. This, like I said, backpack time for all of these because you're not going to want to stick this in your pocket. Now, this is where the organization changes, right? This is where the organization changes from the slim. Let's pull it over. From the slim to the husky, we got different setup. We still have the pockets in the back. We have two loops, right? We have two bands here. So we have stackable organization, but on this side, they change up the game, right? They start doing like a vertical organization here. So the pockets go this way now, give you some more space. So I think that they're trying to utilize more of the space inside of here in a different way. And you have larger bands inside of the husky, right? I gotta check the name. I'm glad I made those little cards. So you have a larger band over here and then two smaller bands. So these bands are like 1.5 inches, but while this one over here is like close to 3 inches, right? And then the same on this side, they're about 1.5 inches, and then the smaller ones on top are about 1 inch. But yeah, man, definitely a different way of organizing. I'm liking the husky in both sets. All right, so let's compare. I'm gonna close up the slim over here, and we'll compare the husky to the huge. So the huge, for the dimensions, 8 inches tall, 7 inches wide, 2.5 inches in depth, the biggest yet. The biggest yet. So you seriously got to, some gear that you want to carry. Ooh, these zippers are nice and smooth. The zippers are nice and smooth. So even more of a change up. And one thing that I'm looking in the huge that I missed on the husky is this band in the center. But let's walk through. We have two loops here. We have this is like a 2-inch loop, 2-inch loop, 2-inch loop, and then like 1/2 inch loops on the top. This one is actually a 1-inch loop, and then a band down here. Now, what I missed in the husky version that's on the huge as well is a band in the center. There's a band in the center of the husky as well, but on the huge, you have like a 1-inch double stack band. So the one in the back here, and then you have two double stack bands. They changed the orientation of the pocket in here as well. So this is like the 3-inch band, 2-inch, 2-inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And then back here is like a 2-inch opening, 2-inch opening. And then a pocket. This one has a pocket. The husky in the back, it has a pocket. This one has a pocket. And then this has a pocket, right? These pockets have some gusset to them though. So that's pretty tight. And then it also has, man, this has all the bells and whistles. It also has a zipper compartment in the back. So for your smaller loose stuff. So yeah, keychain loop in there. Man, you can do a lot with this one. I don't know if I'm carrying this much small gear around that I would need this, but I know there are people, I'm thinking like an IT person will love this one. Like they got to carry all their cords and cables and all their little screwdrivers and stuff. They would love that one. For me, out of these three, I like the husky the best. The husky gives you like the best of both worlds in the EDCM space because it gives you the vertical organization on this side with the two pockets, and it still kind of maintains its form. It's like not too huge, but the huskies, for me, I'm liking that one. All of these organizers are going to last you a long time. But let me lay on top the PPMs just so you can see the differences. So this is the huge. That's why I left the tags on them, because damn it, I would not be able to. So this is the husky, and this is the slim. So the PPMs are on top, the EDCMs are on the bottom, and you can see the size differences in them. But great set of organizers. You know, you can order multiple things. So you don't have to stick with, the stuff that we always kind of gravitate to. That's the latest, hottest. These guys have been in the market for years and they hold up. Solid quality. I have no complaints about Vanquest's organizers. They're always durable. I wanted to do this walkthrough because this thing, when I pulled it apart, I thought it was confusing. When I looked on the website, I was like, man, I really can't figure out what size organizer I should really go with. But this kind of video, I hope, helps somebody out to make their purchasing decision to find out which organizer is best for them. The PPMs on the top, something you can stick in your pocket, or a small bag, or do you need to go with something a little bit bigger in the EDCMs, and then 3 sizes of each set, which is awesome, definitely awesome, and the materials are great. Thank you very much, Vanquest, for sending all of these organizers out. Again, guys, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you loved it, subscribe. If you got questions, which you may have questions because, it was a little difficult to kind of sort through all these things. But we got through it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.